but I don't regret it because love is undeniable. So
Netflix's hit TV series Ginny and Georgia is back, and fans can't wait. After the last season ended with a bang, literally, there's still plenty to explore. Today, we'll dive into some juicy content that will change everything for Season 2. Summary of Season 1. In case you forgot Season 1 or need to be brought up to date, here's a quick summary. The narrative begins with Ginny, Georgia, and Austin Miller moving to a new town in England called Wellsbury. Georgia and Ginny's relationship is unusual in that Ginny is 15 years old and Georgia is in her late 20s. Implying that Georgia had Ginny when she was her age. Georgia has a dreadful history. Her stepfather molested her when she was a child, and she ran away from home. She went on to meet all the wrong guys in her life and made a shambles of her life. Her motivation for moving to Wellsbury is to start over after her ex-husband Kenny died of a mysterious heart attack. Ginny has never had any true pals, and Austin is a troubled adolescent. Georgia's first kid, Ginny, is the result of her first unofficial marriage to Zion Miller. As the mother-daughter duo relocate to a new location, they begin a new life surrounded by new people. Ginny meets some nice friends at school for the first time, but they all have similar teenage problems, and everyone is fighting their own struggle. Ginny, who wants to blend in with the adolescent population, absorbs their problems and struggles with adolescent concerns such as relationships, first sexual encounters, partying, complaining, and so on. Ginny must also confront and resolve her mother's previous issues. Georgia married all the wrong guys due to a variety of factors, including circumstances and liabilities. Georgia's innocence was stripped from her, and she was transformed into a fighter, perhaps a cynical warrior. Georgia and Ginny's main problem is that Georgia has done everything and is overprotective of Ginny as a result. Ginny is not permitted to make the same mistakes as Georgia made, which makes her feel enslaved. People's views and perceptions suffocate her. Even in school, Georgia is extremely attractive, youthful, and endearing, while Ginny's presence is overwhelmed by her mother's aura. Ginny and Georgia examines Ginny and Georgia's continual tension as they strive to fit in with new people, new locations, and deal with Georgia's history, which continues to make their lives difficult at times. Release date for Season 2. After drawing attention from more than 52 million homes around the world in its first 28 days, Netflix has confirmed that the TV show will return for a second season. Although the release date has not been made official yet, we expect it to air very early in 2022, as Netflix usually releases a second season of a show after the first season premieres. Fan favorites we want to see more of in Season 2. Many fantastic characters have already been developed in Ginny and Georgia, and fans are eager to see them return in Season 2. Here's a better look at some characters we want to see back in Season 2. Maddie. Georgia's enigmatic sister Maddie fits in and out of Wellsbury like a relic from Georgia's similarly enigmatic past. Maddie's appearance on the show is brief but unforgettable. Perhaps because she isn't a native of Wellsbury, she's one of the most immediately identifiable characters. Apart from her overall disposition, she has some intriguing things to say about Georgia and her new lifestyle, and it appears that there's more to the narrative than Season 1 reveals. Bracia. The plot of Bracia's narrative feels like it barely touched the surface, given how much she impacts Ginny's development. It would be a pity to waste her character. Bracia is interesting even on her own. She appears to be older than her years, yet she's still an adolescent when she's given the opportunity to be one. Bracia appears to be a selfless individual who is a wonderful friend to anyone in need. She's an ally and a listener, both of which are in short supply in Wellsbury. Padma. Padma, like Bracia, is knowledgeable and mature for her age. She's a logical thinker as well as a creative thinker. She's both passionate and sensible. Her plot in Season 1 focuses mostly on her connection with Marcus, although there's certain to be more to her than that. Padma's narrative in Season 2 might be more focused on her own interests, such as music. Her friend group is unknown, although she and Ginny might be pals. Padma doesn't seem to have any ill feelings towards Ginny because of Marcus, and she appears to simply want what's best for her. Nick. Georgia is able to exhibit a different side of herself because of Nick. He brings a lot of brightness into the office, but he's also involved in one of the season's first most nefarious conspiracies. Nick falls in love with Gabrielle, a private investigator who's investigating the Millers' past. Nick appears to be unaware, but he'll find out later. Nick is much more relaxed outside of work, as seen during Ginny's birthday party. Season 2 should hopefully provide him with additional opportunities to become engaged in the tales of the key characters. Zion. It's understandable that Zion only appears for a brief moment in Season 1. It's a fundamental aspect of his personality, and everything he does and Fans says makes sense. In season 2, though, it would make sense for him to play a larger part. Ginny and Austin look to be on their way to Zion at the end of season 1. Now that the viewer knows everything there is to know about his past, it will be intriguing to watch how he raises his children without Georgia and how he protects them from her. Without the turmoil, Zion's personality is intriguing enough, so simply seeing him bond with Ginny is entertaining. Jordan is Nora's boyfriend, and he appears to be one of the Mang Bro Squad, clique's kindest and most honest members. He appears to be devoted, loving, and supportive of Nora, and their bond is purer than that of most of their acquaintances. Nora is one of Ginny's most essential characters, so it's only logical that her boyfriend plays a larger role in her tale. In fact, when Nora compares their connection to hers and Marcus's, Ginny is intrigued. Jordan is amusing and lighthearted on his own, something the show could use more of. Nora is the most elusive of the 4 girls who make up the Mang. She appears to get the least amount of screen time, and she's the only one whose personal life and concerns aren't addressed. Nora is also the nicest, though a little too nice at times, and the least self-centered of the group. She has the potential to be a wonderful friend to Ginny, but she avoids conflict at all costs, which is probably why she isn't as present as the other 3 females. Ellen. Georgia's personality is nicely balanced by Ellen's distinct sense of humor. One of the most fascinating aspects of season 1 is Ellen's relationship with Georgia, and it's interesting to watch her finally express her worries about Georgia's parenting. When Ellen is with her own family, she provides some of the most hilarious scenes in the series. Her children irritate her, but she and her husband have a sweet connection in which they communicate using their own code. Flint is another character that isn't given enough screen time. He's the voice of the deaf community, but he's also the father of 2 fascinating personalities. It's unclear how he has affected Marcus and Maxine so far. Joe's witty humor, fatherly protectiveness, and smart guidance quickly made him a fan favorite. He's the lone Wellsbury resident that doesn't appear to be from the town. Joe has such a kind, inviting demeanor that anybody feels at ease with him. He's generous, compassionate, and incredibly unselfish. These characteristics are all too scarce in Wellsbury. Joe's connection with Georgia was established in season 1. Given where Georgia is in her arc, it's difficult to imagine the 2 of them having a sexual connection, but even as friends, they're fantastic. He appears to be the logical love choice for her, but she has yet to make the connection between Blue Farm Joe and the Joe she met by accident as a youngster. What to expect for season 2? In season 2, the connection between Austin, Georgia, and her mystery ex-lover might play a role, providing some fascinating history and potentially new character dynamics. We hope for a Mang reconciliation. Max, Abby, Nora, and Ginny's friendship is one of the most poisonous in Ginny and Georgia, although they do provide each other with the support when they need it. Mang parted ways at the end of season 1 after Max discovers Ginny and Marcus's connection and discovers that Abby knew about it before she did. Austin is arguably the most underappreciated of the show's primary characters. His problems go unnoticed by his family, and the only person with whom he appears to bond is Paul, who's a complete stranger to him. Austin makes some questionable decisions while he's on his own, such as stabbing a classmate with a pencil or skipping school for weeks at a time. For most of the season, it's unclear if Georgia truly loves Zion. She calls him her penguin, implying that they would always have a love relationship, loving but not necessarily amorous. Zion, on the other hand, appears to believe that they'll always find their way back to each other, despite the fact that he's usually the one who abandons them. The 2 part ways peacefully at the end of the season, but it feels like there's still a lot of space for the relationship to grow. Although it's doubtful that this couple will ever reconcile emotionally, they might be able to agree on co-parenting approaches. It's clear that there still remains a lot to be seen from the characters in the next season. Season 2 will most likely dig deeper into relationships and backstories, hopefully revealing secrets and plot twists the producers didn't give us in season 1. Thanks for watching, guys.